The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.
Yo, peace and blessings as always to the people. I'm Adrian. You already know it's no BS coming from me. And welcome to Volume 2 of Pod Season, where podding is always in season. I'm joined with the homies, two of my good friends. This episode, y'all, hip-hop and pro wrestling. So the best of both worlds and some of our opinions and eyes. So today's episode, we're going to discuss a few things. We're going to give some SummerSlam predictions for the major matches, of course. We're going to also review this newest AEW music project, Who We Are, Volume 2. And we're going to ultimately decide if Triple H is for the blacks. Meaning, today on Pod Season, we're going to determine if Triple H is racist. I am honored to be joined by two of the homies. I'm going to introduce both of them to y'all. Introducing first, my brother. He's a part of Heroes After Dark, a growing YouTube channel that focuses on comic book collecting as well as comic book culture. You may know him as the Black Supernova. I know him as my brother. What up, Brad? How you living?
Salute. Thank you for having me on another pod. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also, this is my good friend, my good brother. I actually met this man in the airport of Las Vegas on our way to Long Beach for the first New Japan stateside show in almost forever. Great guy. Had a wonderful weekend with him. And we continued our friendship to this day. If you ever go toe-to-toe with him, just know he keeps his receipts and screenshots ready to put it right back on you. Just know that. Just fair warning. He's the brother Nathan, man. How you feeling, bro?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and get into it, man. The first topic of tonight is Triple H racist. I know that's a clickbait. That's a clickbait title for tonight.
Oh, man, people are definitely going to click on that.
Oh, yeah. I can already see the fighting in the comment section. But long story short, man, since Vince McMahon has been removed from WWE, you had a good contingency of fans who thought it was all sweet. It was all good. No more racism. All is well now with WWE. Well, not so fast, my friend. You've been having a number of instances of talent leaving. That's normal. That's natural. But two in particular, being MVP and Bobby Lashley, as of late, have decided to leave WWE. We don't know if they're going to pop up at AEW. I know just recently MVP popped up for Bloodsport. That's awesome. That's dope. I love it. The return of the Ronin. I'm all for it. But on MVP's way out, he kind of liked a couple comments, and he liked a couple comments and feedback from some fans that would probably mention that Triple H isn't a fan of the blacks, preferably black men, almost to the point of emasculation. That I think that was the term that was used, which I do like to argue every now and then with some of you goofies online. But let's talk about it, man. I'm gonna go to you first, Nathan. Question: is Triple H racist?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You have to kind of define what you mean by racist, because when you look at Triple H's career, there's a lot of things that stick out, like the nation angle, the Booker T angle, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That it makes it very easy to point to him and say that he is racist. Along with when you look at the list of people that have left WWE since 2020, the beginning of 2024, again, it makes it very easy to say that he's racist. Just going over the people that were on the main roster, excluding everyone from NXT that's been let go. It was names like, Jinder Mahal, Sangha, Veer Mahan, Zaya Quinn, Zaya Lee, and then you have, Cameron Grimes and Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak kind of being a separate thing.
For sure.
But when you see those names, it does kind of point to racism. But I think if you look a little deeper, in some of those circumstances, those people were brought in and used by Vince specifically for racist angles, racist connotations.
This is true.
So in a way, I think it's too early to say whether he's racist or not. I think we need more time. We haven't seen the type of, race baiting angles that you would see from Vince. We haven't really seen too many of those yet.
That's true.
But it's still early. It's still early in the run. So I don't want to say he's racist in a sense this early, but again, you look back at the old stuff that he's kind of been attached to in his career, and you can ask yourself who's to blame for that, but he ultimately did it. So
these are valid points, man. Brad, what do you think, man?
Yeah, to piggyback off of Nathan, and even when I seen the initial question and gave it some thought and wrote down some things, Triple H in his career has had very I guess feuds that raise the racial tension lines, things he said to Booker T, Nation, a domination angle doing a blackface. Ultimately, what I came into conclusion to, and what Nathan kind of harped on, is Triple H is protected by a system. He's protected by a system of writers. He's protected by a system of pro wrestling. He's protected by fans who, for decades, have functioned within this system of towing the racial line and the racial undertones. So now, when people start to call these things out, it's kind of like, again, this is pro wrestling, right? This is the pro wrestling that allow you guys who don't have any personality themselves to tell you a guy doesn't have personality or a guy doesn't have charisma. The only thing I can say about Triple H is this. The black women are saving him. The black women are saving him. What he's did with, likes of Bailey and Bianca and Amber Moon and Asuka and different things like that. And not even the black women, the women in general, now that I start to name them, the women are really kind of saving them. As far as black acts, and again, year after year, I wonder, what is it? Is there particular numbers we're not seeing to where these guys are bombing out in segments? Are they not drawing? Are they not selling the merch he's looking for? What is it? Hurt Business, when they got together and when Bloodline got together, we were kind of just like, yo, this is an automatic.
People were behind it.
Yeah, we were like, oh, we know this is going down at Survivor Series. It never happened. You had Cedric Alexander and Kota Ibushi in the Cruiserweight Classic. People were screaming for Cedric Alexander. They did next to nothing with him. He had that 2018-19 205 Live, that run where they were having those great matches at the 10 o'clock hour. Outside of that, with the Hurt Business, he hasn't done anything. Is Triple H racist? He's protected by a system. He's protected by a system that allow him to sulk and do what he wants until somebody comes and penetrate or break through that system. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
I feel that. I like both of you all's answers and your insight for sure. We didn't bring up ACH's incident because honestly, that's what ultimately turned me away from WWE for a good portion, because I was so annoyed with how blatantly ignorant and racist that shirt concept and all of that was.
And that was Triple H.
Yeah, that's under him. And
I didn't even think about that.
Dude, that pissed me completely off. Now, when it comes to racism or something like that, it's a very nuanced conversation. So I do appreciate you all's thoughts and your opinions on it. And I value it. I mean, I love having conversations with both of you one on one, whether it's in a group, out in public, or private messages. All day we talk about things like this. So, for me, I think racism is like a spectrum.
Yeah.
Like on one end, you're wearing a robe every Sunday, like that sort of thing. On the other end, you're not hiring this person because you can't pronounce their name. And I think that all of that falls under racism. Am I just going to say he's a blatant racist? Probably not. But there are elements that would suggest that Triple H goes along with racist connotations.
Yeah.
Like you said, Brad, systems that may or may not be racist. And hint, hint, folks, spoiler alert, it is racist. So that's my opinion. Luckily, we have some of these women holding it down, whether they're black or Asian, that sort of thing, and they're getting some focus on them. And it's encouraging me to think that hopefully somebody's back there that can say, "Hey, boss, chill out." If he is like that, you know what I'm saying? Because that ultimately was the downfall of someone like Vince McMahon, that someone really couldn't tell him, "Hey, man, chill out."
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, with Vince, I think it was kind of with Vince. I think of a lot of it boiled down to appearance, what he wanted the company to appear like, and with Triple H, like you said, I think it's more of an, if there is racism there, it's more of an underlying racism, where I think the bottom line with Triple H is I think he just wants to make money. Where with Vince, people would use that excuse with Vince for a long time, like, oh, why would Vince bring this person in just to embarrass them, just to whatever? But now we know what kind of person Vince was.
Right.
So I think at least with Triple H there will be more opportunity. But where that goes, only time will really tell.
That's a fact, and it'll be just our luck next Tuesday on NXT. They send somebody out in blackface, so we don't know.
Please
Right.
don't.
All right, next thing, fellas. Let's get into this AEW music project. Now, both of you are fans of music. Much like myself, I know we send each other, "Hey, you gotta check out this project. It's pretty dope." Or, "Hey, man, I don't know if you've seen this. You need to look at it. It's worth paying attention to," or at least rounding it back. I know, what, Nate, was it Lil Yachty's concept album that you had to go back to after talking about it?
You recommended it, and I checked it out. Didn't immediately dig it, and then I had another friend recommend it. So I went back to it, and it was my favorite album of that entire year now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It was dope. It was a dope music project. So
I really like his new one too that he just put out.
Correct. Yeah. That project is pretty dope, and he's putting out some good singles. So I'm looking forward to what he has to offer. And Brad, you and I always talk about some hip hop. Like every Friday morning, we're like, "Yo, this came out. Let's give it a spin." That sort of thing.
Yeah, most definitely.
Although we will never talk about Kendrick and Drake on this podcast, so I will never concede. All right, but let's get into this AEW project. It is called Who We Are, a celebration of excellence, Volume 2. The last project, Volume 1, had a lot of producers, and it kind of showed. It was kind of all over the place. So before we get into these positives and whatnot, your feedback, I do want to at least say this project produced by Rich Latta, he killed it in the sense of it being a singular focus, which is very difficult when you have so many different personalities of pro wrestling. So I will definitely give him props and praise on that. Shout out to him. Talented dude, I will definitely say. All right, Brad, let's talk about the positives, man. What are your pros of this project?
I think it was a greatly produced project. I thought it gave life to a bunch of different wrestlers and insight on their personality. and I think they stepped their game up from the last one.
I feel
Yeah,
that.
I think the bars were a little bit better this time,
Okay.
and it had a couple of wrestlers that I was not too familiar with on there,
Mm-hmm.
so I was kind of like, aha, I get it now. The last one
Mm.
kind of seemed like it's Black History Month. Let's do this thing. Now this one, I was like, oh, this seems a little bit more sincere, meaningful. And again, it got me into some wrestlers that I was not familiar with, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
even forgot was on that roster, to be honest.
Hell, they made a song about a referee. If so, and it was all right. So it was all right. I do agree with you on that sense. I know some of the controversy. I know people love criticizing AEW for anything and everything. And I definitely remember the conversation of when this project dropped. Was this pandering or not? So just making the decision of holding it for a couple more months saved this whole discussion. So shout out to foresight of the executive team of making that decision. Nate, what pros do you have on it?
I didn't know about the first one,
Okay.
so going into this was kind of a fresh thing for me. I thought it was going to be bad. Going into it, I just expected it to be bad. And then I watched the YouTube video they did promoting it, and then I really thought it was going to be bad because it was very, very cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Then I actually listened to it, and it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. I was very
Yeah.
surprised. Like you guys were saying, the production levels were really good. It's still just in what it is. It's kind of corny. Like ultimately, it's gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you first told me about it, I was kind of like, why? Like, why would they do this? So I get why, if it was a Black History Month the first time around, why people might feel it was a bit pandering. But yeah, I mean, this was good. I really liked the Swerve track, just because it was Swerve. What are the other ones? I liked the Nana and Amanada's track. They had like the Timbaland flute going on.
That Bravo track's a standout for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
That Bad News and Tattoos, that was lit.
yeah. It was really good, and like I said, at first I didn't really understand why they were doing it. Just coincidentally, a video of Simon Cowell, the guy from I think American Idol,
Yeah.
popped up on Facebook for me today, and he was talking about how he watched WWF at the time sell out Wembley, and when he saw that happen, he was like, "Oh, I should make a record with them." And he was talking about how everyone in the record industry was telling him it was crazy. His agent was begging him not to do it, and essentially his argument was like, "I just go where the money is. I can tell they have a very dedicated fan base that will probably buy anything that they put out." So when I watched that video, kind of put it in perspective, because it's true. Wrestling fans will buy wrestling products like madmen. So
That's
I
a
get
fact.
it. I get it now more than I got it a week ago,
I
and
feel it.
and it was good. It was good.
I feel that. All right. So a few pros that I have. High level production. I think all three of us are in agreement that
Yes.
the production value it was professional. We, for someone like myself who listens to all types of hip hop, that's not always the case. Love it or hate it, that's not always the case. Not all of the guys have access to certain tools, and some of them just don't have the skills to really get their idea going when it comes to music. Note that they didn't have any samples on this album. A lot of it's original music. So shout out to those producers for even creating that. As a fellow artist, as a husband to an artist, we appreciate that kind of level of ownership when it's like I'm creating this from the ground up. So shout out to them for that. The sequencing of it made for a very easy listen for me. I didn't really struggle listening to it like I did Volume 1.
Yeah, I was about to say the first one was a
Yeah.
struggle.
You had to take a break for sure because it was all over the place, And the sequencing for sure, I gotta give a lot of props for his focus on that. So shout out to him. And then also, what's more authentic than having the wrestler performing his own music? You got a track with Swerve, your world champion. He's talented. He can rap. Why not have him do his own music? Same thing for Bravo. Shout out to him. He did that listening. I watched that same podcast you're talking about, Nathan, and Bravo was on it. And he said, hey, why would I have someone else do my own music? Y'all know how I am about my presentation. That's perfect. That's you showing ownership. And he killed it. For me, he killed it. For me, that was the standout track. In a lot of those songs, you could tell there was a good level of influence by those wrestlers. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the negatives. I'm going to start it off because, like I said, when you have a song from Swerve, that's authentically him. Have a song by Carly Bravo, that's authentically him. I think there were some missed opportunities. Now, even though, it was some even though it was some talented lyricists on board and everything, I'll be honest, guys, that song didn't seem like that was Willow Nightingale's song. If you know Willow,
Babes
if you know
with
the
pop.
music she listens to,
What kind of
you
music
know what
she
she's
listen
on.
to?
She listens like Paramore.
Oh,
Well,
and
the track's a David Bowie song, right? Or it's the Labyrinth David Bowie bit. So I had a feeling she probably, listened to more of that type of thing.
That's fair. That's fair. I didn't feel like it was as authentic to her.
Sure.
The same thing for that Aminata track for me. I just think
it.
I like it. No, don't get me wrong. I like mostly all the music. I'm just saying when it comes to authentic, like this is her.
It didn't represent her.
To me, it didn't.
Yeah,
I get the vision, but why not? It's the summer. Why not have some Afro beats inspired music? You can have a rapper on there. Rap and hip hop are global at this point. There's so many Afro beats artists from Africa coming to the States and blowing up. WizKid and all those guys. Why not have some up and coming Afro beats artists do her song? You know what I'm saying? And for Willow in particular, why not have some punk band? There are black punk bands all around the States. If you don't go to Afro Punk or check them out, it's a shitload of punk rock bands that are all black.
Shout out Horror.
Exactly.
It's my favorite.
So you have these kind of artists, like that's kind of more her speed. So let's make a song. My negative or my feedback, I'm not even going to say negative. It's my feedback. My feedback is I don't want these guys to be limited to just hip hop exclusively. Gotcha. And if you do make that distinction of saying, okay, this is a hip hop album, then I'm going to throw back at you. Well, hip hop's global at this point. Lil Uzi Vert made a song with a fucking Korean rock band and the shit hit. Why not find a punk rock band and then get some rapper on that? That's my feedback for sure. Yeah. And then also a little nitpick, because again, this was a good project. One little annoying thing for me. Did you all notice that a majority of the songs like kind of shoehorned the wrestler's name in it?
Yes, I did notice that.
It got to a point where I was like, oh, okay, you don't have to say this person's name. Like, don't spoon feed me. Let me sit there.
Them trying to force that connective tissue you were talking about.
And I didn't care for it. Now it worked for some of the songs, like the Nana song. Like Nana it's a good melody to saying Nana, not, you know what I'm saying? Like that goes, but once you're rapping and then you go Queen Aminata, it's like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
Yeah. So you brought something to my attention of we can diversify the sounds as far as making it more authentic to the artist. Another thing is too, next time I'd like to see Tony open up the bag more, because it seems like more popular wrestlers and popular producers participate with AEW, or AEW have given them money to make an appearance or whatever. We've seen Fab, we've seen Jim Jones, we've seen Rick Ross, West Side Gun is a regular. So, maybe next time we can do that. Production wise, my dream scenario, I know they can't do everything, but if Tony Khan can get Ginger Root and Flower Child together and do like some kind of thing, I think it would be great.
Okay.
Lastly, I would love to see it promoted bigger, like a month or a couple of weeks, where the wrestlers are actually coming out to those theme songs, representing those theme songs, taking pride in those theme songs. I mean, I'm sure it would help with sales, 100%.
Definitely.
And yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh, and as far as the flows and the cadence is super nitpicky.
Mm-hmm.
Flows and cadences on that album, I mean, they kind of got redundant at times. But outside of that, I really don't have many cons, because it was way better than the first one to me, as far as the cohesiveness and production and things of that nature. But yeah, open up that bag. That's number one. If you can get Ginger Root and Flower Child to do some production on the next one, get you some, couple some B plus A list rappers on there, and diversify, get songs a little bit more authentic to what that wrestler listens to. That way you can reuse that wrestler again. You know what I mean? Instead of searching for, like, adding AR Fox on this, right? I forgot he was even in the company. And not saying he don't deserve a spot, but
I feel that. Plus, it's so many hip hop artists that are fans of professional wrestling. We literally see West Side Gun in the front row of damn near all AEW big shows, all WWE big shows. You need to be grabbing a hold of that man and collaborating.
You'd think they'd be happy to do it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got Uzi, who didn't Uzi come out for WrestleMania and an AEW show at one point?
I think
so.
Yeah. So these guys are willing to sit at the table, like, make it happen, man. Make it happen. Nathan, what are your thoughts about the project or feedback?
Yeah. Really everything Bradley said. I think them, if they're gonna do it, promote it. If they're gonna bother to do it, then promote it. I think them coming out to the music is a great idea.
Definitely.
And also, yeah, like, there's so many good rappers that like wrestling, like, and everyone knows that. Hip hop fans know that. You would think just get them in the room and make it work. And again, it goes hand in hand. Like, if you're gonna do it right and promote it, and having those people on it would make it a lot easier to. Like I said, I didn't even know the first one happened. I looked it up. I saw Bootsy Collins. I was like, Bootsy Collins was on this.
Right.
Like,
Right.
That's crazy. Like, and I didn't even know it was around. So,
literally, the reason why I found out about it was because people were arguing, was it pandering? Because I was like, what the hell are y'all talking about? And then I look, I'm like, oh, okay. That's cool. Nathan, what tracks are must listens in your opinion?
I like the Swerve track. And then the Na track, and I really like the Aminata track. I 100% get what you're saying, where it doesn't represent her, but it's just a good track. Like Bradley was saying, it's just a good track. Yeah.
I liked the Aminata, Bad News and Tattoos. I like the Swerve track. The Mac is back. I wasn't mad at that. So that was a good one. And Nana, of course, Nana. Honestly, first listen, I was skipping over. Second listen, I was doing the dishes. I listened to it a full way through, and I was like, oh, this is really cohesive for what it is.
For sure.
But no, the Aminata, Bad News and Tattoos, Mac is back, and the Swerve, the first track. Swerve can rap, man. He's he's a dickhead, man, but I tell you what, man, he's really firing on all cylinders right now as far as his opportunity and time at the top with AEW for sure.
I feel that. For me, I've talked about it. I keep talking about it. That Bravo track, I love it. Very authentically him. Love the production. Love the energy of that. That Trish Adora track, I really enjoyed that
Oh
one.
yeah, yep.
And that Nana, I like the vibes on that for sure. And they shouted out Jimmy Rave, so shout out to Jimmy. Rest in power, man. Rest in power. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, Brad, what are you giving this?
I gave the project a 6. And that's really, really good because I'm really, really critical
For sure.
on rap albums. So I gave this a 6 out of a 10.
Okay.
I just feel like the album for me, it kind of finished strongly, which kind of bumped it up from a 5 to a 6 for me.
Okay. Nathan.
I probably do a 6 too,
Okay.
and that's a good score. It doesn't sound like a good score, but going into it, I was expecting a 3. So
I feel that. All right, I'm giving it a 7. Like I said, the songs that I really enjoyed, I actually really enjoyed them. If they're added to my future playlists and stuff, you know, it's a good project to go to the gym, to work, you know, any of that stuff. So shout out to AEW, Who We Are, Volume 2. Shout out to the producer, Rich Latta, and shout out to all those artists and rappers and lyricists that showed up for that project. Plus that cypher, I forgot to say, that cypher was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because of wrestling, they threw a Bret Hart reference, so you know I gotta at least shout them out.
Shout out to Wrestling Flows too. Stay doing this thing. Stay doing this thing.
True that. Shout out to them. All right, fellas, let's end this thing off by talking SummerSlam. The big show is going on there in Cleveland. I think it's like 55,000 seats already sold. They're on fire. Let's see if they can keep up some momentum. Let's do a couple predictions on some of the bigger matches of this show. First, let's talk about that United States title match between the current champion, Logan Paul, and LA Knight. Brad, who do you have and why?
I have LA Knight. I feel like they're gonna give it to LA Knight. I would love for Logan to keep the title. I love what he does with the title, as far as taking it to his podcast and incorporating it, as far as, you know, his persona and talking with his guests and getting his guests to discuss wrestling. I feel like they're gonna put it on LA Knight. At this point, I'm over LA Knight, but I feel like they're gonna go ahead and give him, you know, the big payoff, since they gave him fed him the Roman so early. I feel like they're gonna give him the big payoff and give him the U.S. title. So I have LA Knight.
if it was me, I would keep it on Logan. I mean, who better to keep a belt on than him? He's everywhere right now.
True.
You know, Logan needs someone to play off of in the match. I'm worried LA Knight might not be the right guy for that. So, the match might not be what I would want it to be, but unless Logan is, busy doing something else, I would just keep it on him.
Okay.
I think, like what Bradley said, I think a lot of people are I think the LA Knight train is slowly winding down. So
yeah, they blew that shot.
They should have struck when it was hot, because I think we all knew it was not going to be hot forever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with you all 100% in the sense of, I think they may have made the decision a little too late for LA Knight, but I am picking LA Knight to win this. Let's go ahead and see what else Logan can do. He's done a great job as the United States champion, like you all said. Plenty of exposure. Some newer fans have been brought because kids literally follow anything and everything those Paul brothers do.
Yep.
Love it or hate it. But, and LA Knight needs that boost. And sometimes that's why you give them a championship, for that boost, that hopeful boost. So, yeah, I'm definitely picking LA Knight as the winner. let's talk about Gunther and Damian Priest, because I don't know about you guys, but after the past couple weeks, I'm kind of wanting Damian to retain, but I don't think that's happening. Nathan, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I am a Damian Priest hater. I
Okay.
I am a Punishment Martinez hater. That's how far
Mm,
back it goes. I did
mm,
not like him all the way back then. I don't know what it is about him. He's just one of those guys, just not for me. Where on the flip side of that, Gunther's like the greatest. So I'm
mm.
going for Gunther. I'm
Okay.
not into the whole Damian Priest vibe. Not my thing.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
pulling for Gunther here.
Got you. Brad.
I'm with Nathan. I'm pulling for Gunther, man. He has got himself in phenomenal shape. He's cutting a phenomenal promo. He has an old school classic heel feel to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Gunther all the way. I would be disappointed if he didn't get the
Yeah.
title. And I listen, if Priest retains, I have to be like Nathan. I'm booing the guy out the building every chance I get after that.
Yeah.
This should have Gunther written all over it. He won the King of the Ring. There's never, as many times as I've seen both of them wrestle, there's never been a time I have not loved a Walter Gunther match.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen plenty live. I'm going Gunther here. I think the fans in Cleveland are in for a treat. Um, this may be Priest's best match in his WWE career
Mm.
outside of his match with Bad Bunny, the tag match. So
I feel that. I
I'm
feel
going
that.
Gunther here.
Man, it hurts my heart, man. It hurts my heart to say I think Gunther's definitely gonna win it, even though this class enemy promo that he cut a couple weeks ago that struck a nerve with me, and I'm just like, damn, this dude talking politics right now, man. Fuck him. So
You seen him on Instagram in front of the Benz, right?
nah, what happened?
Oh, you got no. He just was in front of the Benz with his Rolex.
Talking his talk.
He wasn't even talking. He just put the picture up. He like, yo, you see what we doing out here? So,
Damn. Damn.
Gunther.
Gunther calling all of us brokies right now.
Yo, he said, you see what we doing out here?
Nah, yeah, I feel y'all. Gunther definitely. I have him winning for sure. He's been on fire, and hopefully they deliver. It sucks that Damian has had a short and error-filled title run, but hopefully something is better down the line for him. But yeah, I got Gunther.
It's crazy.
Damian-
This is a world title. It doesn't feel like a world title.
You don't
That's
think
why
so?
Gunther
After
gotta
the
get the
past
belt.
couple weeks?
Yeah.
You don't think after the past couple weeks it's kind of heated up?
I mean, yeah, it has, but I think I think it can elevate Gunther and elevate the title.
Okay,
Yes.
I feel that.
Listen, real quick before we move on. Damian Priest got the opportunity LA Knight should have got when he was hot. Damian
True.
Priest cashed in, and I was starting to be over him having the briefcase. He had it for a minute, then they turned it purple. So for me, it feel like Nathan said, it doesn't feel like the world title. That's why I think Gunther, you get it, you can give him a long reign. And also, I would look to, if we're gonna take the title off Logan Paul, I would have Logan Paul win the Rumble and put him in there against Gunther at Mania. That's me personally. So
Man,
I thought they were gonna combine the world titles. That's what it felt like after Mania. It felt like we were moving towards getting rid of the Seth Rollins belt, and then I don't know. I guess it just got lost along the way because here we are. It's still out there.
That's a fact. All right, speaking of Seth, he is your special guest referee, and what I think is probably going to be the match that I'm most looking forward to, for more than one reason. One being, hopefully, Punk stays healthy and doesn't get hurt in this match, so they can actually do something with him, other than the money that they're making, whatever. But the match I'm talking about, we have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Nathan, who do you have between these two?
I think Drew wins it, just to continue the story.
Okay.
this should be what everyone talks about when they talk about Triple H's creative reign. This should be like the peak. I know everyone likes the Bloodline more, but you know what they're doing here proves that he can handle long-term angles. I know that even though they were forced into it, this has just been great old school wrestling booking, no bullshit, no
Right.
melodrama. Um, and then they put the fucking clown Seth Rollins in the match. It's he does not belong here. Like we have such a good thing going with just those two. He comes out wearing the fucking puffy shirt. It's just
Yeah, that was a nasty fit on Monday.
Yo,
we had such a good thing going, and
that
then
might
they
have been
brought
the
the
ugliest
clown
fit
out.
in wrestling history, bro.
Yeah,
No lie.
that was a horrible fit.
He doesn't belong in this angle. Like I don't like this Seth Rollins character at all. I hate it. But I get why people like it. It should be elsewhere. Like they've got such a good thing going right here that I just wish he wasn't a part of it. And I'm hoping that once they get this out of the way with him as the ref, that we can just move on to 2 more singles matches between them with no bullshit.
I feel that. Brad.
So I definitely think Drew is winning. And with Nathan, I want to see 2 more matches, one of which being a Hell in a Cell match between Punk and Drew. I think Seth is in here to either screw Punk or screw them both. But somebody's going to get screwed on Saturday. If you screw Punk and you put Drew and Seth together, and word is Danielson is coming back. Maybe you put him in there, and
Is that the word?
Really?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. He's coming back after Wembley. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? So
everything's possible, but
yeah, that's true.
no, they just said he's been getting his ducks in a row and trademarking, the
I
yes
saw the
movement
yes trademark
and all of that stuff.
Trademark.
So, I mean, if you get Drew and Seth, and then Punk say, "Oh, I know a guy," and then Danielson comes back, and you got your thing for Survivor Series in Chicago again. No, I'm just playing, but but I don't know, man. But somebody's getting screwed. If I had to pick a winner, though, I got to go with Drew. Drew has been looking amazing since before WrestleMania. His promos, his intensity, everything. So I'm down for it. He beat Punk's ass, and I think he's gonna do it again. Or if he don't, Seth is gonna screw Punk. But something's gonna happen to where that story continues.
I feel both of y'all. I think Punk's winning this. I think Punk's gonna win because of Seth, and ultimately setting up. And I'm thinking super long term. And again, I'm hoping Punk stays healthy so this can actually happen. WrestleMania Night 1 main event, Drew versus Seth versus Punk. I'm with that. I don't need a title. That doesn't even have to be for a title, but why not make it a title so that we can get Drew that big time WrestleMania win over his nemesis for a whole year being CM Punk. And like Seth just said, Nathan just said, this goof Seth, who's been arguing that he's the greatest champion in that short history. So I got Seth actually screwing, maybe not intentionally, maybe it's some mistake or something, but Punk outthinks both of them and he wins that match. That's what I got. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's get over these quick matches. Art, screw Nia Jax Bailey. I'm respectfully screw that match. I think Bailey
talk about it.
Retains. Oh God, yeah. I mean, we have reached that point where we have reached that point where it's time to get it off. But Nathan, go ahead. Take us where we need to go with this match.
I don't know. I worry about Bailey now. She seems, a little broken down, but especially being in a match with Nia Jax. I can't believe we're still doing this. I really can't believe we're still doing this. I mean, I see some of you guys saying it's getting better, but I just
She
don't.
has gotten better.
I don't see it.
You don't
I
think
don't
so?
see it. I mean, her work may be a little better, but she still just looks like dangerous out there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Bianca Belair, just do you see the Hot Ones bit?
No, what
Bianca
happened?
Belair and Jade are on Hot Ones, like their offshoot where it's just them, not the dude. It's just the two of them, and they're like answering questions back and forth. And it was the question was like, "Have you ever peed your pants in a match?" And Jade said no, and Bianca said she had, and it was when fucking Nia Jax sat on her ass.
Oh Jesus! Really?
Yeah, she said she took a leg drop and pissed her pants.
It's like, and
no.
when you see her fucking do it, like, it makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Hopefully it's a quick match, man. Hopefully it's a quick and safe match.
I think
Get Bailey out of there.
I'm with Nathan. Bailey has been looking like she's just totally going through the motions. It's just beat down mentally. She doesn't even like she doesn't Bailey like how she used to. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's because Sasha's gone and she's kind of taking a brunt of some things. She want to creatively get free and get out of her contract. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like she's going through the motions. I did catch what Nathan said about Nia leg dropping Bianca, and I don't know if you guys seen when Tiffany threw Mia Yim down. My goodness, and Nia was like clapping, but that shit, yo, she smacked her head. Man, listen.
Really?
Yo, like go check it out. Like either it was a good sell job or she got a concussion, bro. Like,
jeez,
like she literally whop and smacked the mat.
Yeah, I know she's been at the crib, so that
man,
kind of makes sense.
Give Bailey some time off or something, man. She just don't seem.
So are you saying Nia's winning?
Yeah. I think Nia's winning. I think ultimately somehow Tiffany Stratton leaves out of there with the title.
Okay.
I feel like some titles are gonna change hands. They have to change hands because it's a big show. So yeah, I could see Bailey's not leaving the champion.
I got you. I do think Bailey retains, but I do like the idea of Tiffany Stratton cashing in, because that's a big crowd and people love her. So
you think she's ready?
That would make sense. Why not? You know,
yeah.
At this point, why not?
Yeah,
because like you said, it's either a tapped out Bailey or Nia Jax. Like,
yeah.
I'd much rather Tiffany Stratton have that belt. So, okay, let's keep in the ladies and let's talk about Liv and Rhea. Brad, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on this love triangle of Dom, Liv, and Rhea?
I'm not mad at Dom. Dom is like, he's in a great position right now. As far as the match go, I've seen Liv have some good matches. I've seen Rhea have some great matches. Hopefully I can get a bit of Liv's good and Leah's and Rhea's great, and the match is solid. If I had to make a prediction, I'll say Dom causes Rhea unintentionally.
Okay.
And then something happens there. I'm just kind of just wigging out with, just thinking what WWE may be thinking. And Dom unintentionally caused Rhea or whatever the case may be. But I'm just hoping for a solid match because I'm a fan of Rhea Ripley. So I need Liv come to, if Liv is good and Rhea can carry the rest, we should have another solid women's match on the card. So I'm going to go with Liv retaining over some goofiness with Dom.
Nathan.
I like Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. This is just not my sort of angle. So I don't terribly care either way, to be honest with you. I'll say Liv Morgan. Just to, again, just to keep the angle going. because people are into it. I'm not into it. People
Mm.
are into it, so I
Why
think
aren't you into it?
it's this type of storytelling is the epitome of why me and WWE creatively just don't get along.
Okay.
It's just not when I turn wrestling on, that's not what I turn it on for.
Mm.
So, again, I know a lot of people are into it. That's why I tell my kid all the time, like, don't dislike it because I dislike it. Just
Right.
it's just not for me. A lot of people love it. It's just not my type of thing.
That's fair. That's fair. And that's great advice
Yeah.
for the young man and
Yeah.
growing wrestling fan. Because
Yo,
Yes.
you want to know something crazy? So I'm watching Raw
Mhm.
with my lady. She's in the bed, and Dom's like, "Oh, I hate you, Liv," and she's like, "Oh, that's so childish," and I'm like, I'm like, she's like, "That's so childish," and I'm like, but it is. So that's why I'm like, yo, it's gonna be something goofy that happens
Yeah.
to where Dom and Rhea. So
I agree. I agree. Liv's gonna retain through some goofiness. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming around the bend. Day is about to change in some form or fashion. That's lesser than the current state of it, but I got Liv retaining. All right, fine. Oh, we got Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. Two wrestlers I actually enjoy. And I know a lot of people were bugged out about the fact that Sammy beat Braun last pay-per-view. And I was one of the people that enjoyed the fact that that happened because it brings you to a bigger stage for when Braun Breaker actually wins the IC title. So, Nathan, what are your thoughts on the IC title? Braun Breaker challenging Sami Zayn.
I like Braun. Um, Definitely needs more time, but Sami Zayn's the type of person that they should be pairing him up with right now.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked their last match. I thought it was good.
I did too. Yeah, for sure.
So, hopefully we'll get a match of at least that quality. I think Braun probably wins this one. Um, though I don't think he should quite yet. I think
Mm,
just because they're doing the match again so soon that he's probably going to win this one.
I feel that. Brad.
Um, I think wins here, but I'm with Nathan. I do think Braun needs more time. If you pay attention, Braun when he's in a big match, sometimes he slips up. He may be
Mm-hmm.
moving a little bit too fast and don't execute a big move. Like he really fucks up a big move sometimes. So I hope Braun brings his A game because he can really get himself over here. Even if he doesn't win, the wrestling alone, because a lot of people are behind Braun. They love his look, they love his image, his toughness, all of that. For some reason, wrestling fans absolutely love a spear. Like no
Right.
matter who does it,
They go
they
crazy
absolutely
for it.
love it. Yeah. So he has a really good chance to put himself over. Sammy is over. I do think they put the belt on Braun.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice the trends here, the mid card titles, I said Braun. I have Tiffany getting the women's title, and then I have LA Knight getting the title. So there's going to be some changes on Saturday. I don't think it's going to be the one at the top with Cody, but I think they're going to change
Okay.
some titles. So I'm going Braun here.
I feel that. Let's talk about it. The main event of the pay-per-view is going to be Cody Rhodes being challenged by Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline, the new tribal chief. I got two questions. I want a prediction of who wins, and of course, the elephant in the room is Roman coming back this weekend.
Winner, I'm going to go with Cody coming back. I say no. I don't think Roman is coming back this weekend.
Okay.
I think Cody has to win. Um, I think it would set up Roman coming back better if he lost, which makes me think maybe he's not coming back.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I don't think you can put the big belt on Solo Sikoa.
No, not at this point.
I don't think he's. I don't think he'll ever be. at that point. To be honest with you, it's just I don't know, kind of a charisma vacuum to me.
Okay, and that's what I was gonna ask. What's the missing variable with Solo?
Yeah, I mean he's got a really good spot, and they give him great stuff. Just him personally, I don't know. If he wasn't so close to Roman, I think they could probably find someone better to fill that spot with.
Like Jacob Fatu?
I like Jacob more. But we had this conversation briefly in the group the other day. People are saying he's a superstar. I think he's a great wrestler, a very good wrestler. But I don't think he's a superstar, and honestly, I'm not sure that he ever will be. It's just him and Solo. I don't know if it's a height thing or what it is, but they don't have that aura, Adrian. They don't have that aura. To me,
I hate that word.
But
I feel that.
With Roman, that aura is so strong. You know what I mean? But they just don't have it to me.
I feel that.
Like Nathan said, and with Jacob and with Tamatanga as well, they're cool guys.
Yes, 100%.
But they should have pulled back on the bloodline and let those guys come in with Roman and then detach them away, because Solo is not the one to. He's not the one to carry. If anything, I would have just did an overhaul. Maybe booted the Usos out of the bloodline, kept Solo, told Solo to bring in some guys, and did an overhaul. Then let Roman step back a little bit, or just pulled everybody back for some months and then bring the bloodline back. SummerSlam, and they just beat up everybody, and it's like, oh shit, the bloodline is back, because now they're starting to seem a little uncool. And I mean, WWE is doing everything to get them over, jumping guys in the entrance, putting Paul Heyman through tables, putting the Usos heads in chairs and squashing it. They're doing everything, and it's still like week after week. It's kind of like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
still not Roman.
Yeah, people are booing them. But
when is Roman coming back?
Yeah, people are booing them, but not in the sense that they want that type of boo. It's more of a, why are these guys on TV? Why are these guys out here? Why is he even claiming to be tribal chief? Like that sort of thing. And I don't think that's what they intended with that. They thought it was going to be more seamless.
Yeah, they don't have no Heyman. It's just like the momentum did not transfer, and I was totally on board at first. Then a couple weeks went by, and I was like, all right, I'm over this shit. That's fair. It's funny because now, as a whole, when I watch SmackDown, I'm kind of over SmackDown as a whole in general as a show.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying that. A lot of people
just
saying
because
that SmackDown's boring.
Yeah, because they used to have great matches on Friday, and now it's just kind of like they're running, Legado Fantasma, Santos Escobar, and all those guys into the ground. I know Andrade complained about, why the Spanish wrestlers wrestling in their spots, and it seemed like they're just giving them guys something to do. It's just SmackDown is a mess. It needs an overhaul, a revamp. They should have moved Ricochet to SmackDown, but I personally, I'm just over that. Hopefully, Solo just has a great match with Cody.
I think that would help him a lot if he went out there and they had a banger like that. That would help him a lot because I mean, has Solo had a really great match yet?
Man.
And even a tag match, even a really great tag
he had one great match in NXT with Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
He had one great match there. As far as on the main roster, I mean, outside of the drama of the bloodline stuff,
right?
Nah.
Yeah. Even that John Cena one was kind of
that was lame.
A break could have really helped them, like you were saying. A break could have really helped them after WrestleMania if it just went silent for a little bit. Even if Roman didn't come back, I think that would have helped them a lot.
That's a fact. All right, well, SummerSlam this Saturday in Cleveland, Ohio. I I know a good amount of wrestling fans are going to be watching it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're going to be locked in.
How do you guys feel about these 7 match, like these fewer match cards?
Man, I love it. I love it because it's giving more opportunity for these guys to actually get busy.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times the formulaic WWE has been these quick 7-8 minute matches where you know exactly what this spot's going to be, what this is going to be, what this is going to be. Now, when it's a legit seven match card, like the Royal Rumble, for example, where it was legit like 5 matches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The both Rumbles actually had time to actually get some things off, good or bad. I know I critiqued the women's Rumble for having too many of those performers there, some that weren't ready to be out there at all. But for the most part, you're giving these guys more time to actually wrestle, which has
Right.
been probably the number one critique of a lot of us
Yeah.
wrestling fans. You know,
Yeah.
what do you think, Brad?
I think they're good. Like you said, it gives them time. And in the summertime is when wrestling kind of gets dull. I know for me personally, in the summer, I'm enjoying
Not
the
me.
family.
G1.
Well, yeah, that, but you gotta you gotta wait to either stay up or you gotta wait to that, you know. But I'm enjoying the family, and not only that, you know, college football is on the horizon, right? So we're tapping in on that, getting ready for that. What WWE can do to position all the superstars and position themselves to end the year out strong is have great matches at SummerSlam. Give us something to look forward to as far as Survivor Series, because that roster is starting to thin down. So you have to give me something where I want to see the 8-man tag. You have to give me 8 wrestlers where I'd be like, yo, I want to see them really get it on in the war zone and the war games, and you got to prop up the ladies. So it starts here for me at SummerSlam. If
I
SummerSlam
feel
if
that.
SummerSlam falls flat going into Survivor Series, we're like, oh, we getting this again. You doing
Mm-hmm.
this again. You doing this again. So it starts now, and a lot of the younger people got a great opportunity to, you know, really go out there and do their thing. So 7 matches, excuse me, but more minutes, I'm into it.
Yeah, I think it's great. It really is. I see a lot of bad faith arguments. You know, people that probably just want to complain, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like more matches is not more like it's not more content. Like it's so much better. It's like, you know, NXT Black and Gold booking where everything has a story building up to it, and you don't just get these random throwaway matches. And like you were saying, it makes everything just feel so much more important.
Mm-hmm.
And them getting
Mm-hmm.
rid of the Hell in a Cell, getting rid of that pay per view, now they can actually book Hell in a Cell matches when they like
Right.
meet, like what Bradley was saying with a Punk and Drew match. That's a really good thing too.
That's
It's
a
a really good
fact.
call from the Triple H era.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, fellas. It's been an awesome recording.
Yeah, thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
for
it was
sure.
great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. Brad, before we go, let the people know where they can find you.
Black Supernova Instagram. You can also find me Heroes After Dark on YouTube. Everything comic related, from investments to weekly pickups to comic community talk. We are there. We got videos. We post videos every Friday morning. We also have the our feature videos, the $1,000,000 Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah, I
collection.
peeped that. Yeah.
So definitely check that out with one of the hero members. He has every single Spider-Man from
That's nuts, man.
Amazing Fantasy all the way to what the current run. So he
That's
has
crazy,
every
bro.
single one. So definitely check it out. It's legit. I seen it with my own
That's a
eyes.
full room, right?
Yeah, man.
Oh man, and he has multiple. He don't just have one of each. He has 3 Amazing Fantasies.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, so you got to check it out. If you're a fan of comics, if you're a fan of collecting in general, definitely check it out.
You can see
The
my
Heroes
long
After
boxes
Dark.
are back there behind that wall. That's why that closet's such a mess.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah, man.
nice.
Yeah.
What you got in there, Nathan?
A bunch, just late like 20 like 2007 to like 2014, mostly that
Okay.
stuff. But then I got a bunch of stuff from the 90s that are probably worthless right now.
No.
Yeah.
Some of the 90s stuff is coming back.
Some
of
of
the
it.
90s stuff is coming back.
I don't think my 7 issues of Death of Superman will ever be worth much, but we'll see.
Tragic. That's tragic.
Because everyone has 7 issues of Death of Superman.
Yeah, no.
Facts.
That's like the run-on joke in the comic community.
Yeah. All right, Nathan, man, let the people know, where can they find you? Where can they debate you so that you can screenshot them and go ahead and point out the obvious?
The only place they can find me is on Facebook and the House of Kayfabe Facebook group. That's the only real social media I have, so that's where they can find me.
Yeah, man. Shout out to House of Kayfabe. Shout out to the members, the old and new members of HOK. Y'all keep it interesting in there, man. And everything's not personal. Don't take everything personal, y'all. When I say something to you, don't take it personal. I'm just joking.
We need to set up like a House of Kayfabe, like one big pod one day, and
that would be awesome.
Let everybody get on and get their shit.
I love debating you guys. You guys are my favorite. Some people in there that. I was worried I was gonna pop in this group and see a face and be like, oh
Jesus. Yeah. Nah, man. Actually, House of Kayfabe, man. Yeah. House of Kayfabe actually met Mania in New York. We had a good amount of us, like Devin, who was in New York. He was already up there, so that was easy. Byron from North Carolina came up there. I was there. I want to say Randy and Greg. It was a good amount of us in one spot. Rodney. Shout out to Rodney and Jason Frazier. Those guys in St. Louis, Midwest. Like, it was pretty cool. All of us just hanging out and having fun and talking shit. And Byron sang Barbie Girl on karaoke. That shit was hilarious. So shout out to them.
I had a good time with you guys in Long Beach too. There's a few of us out there. Not many, but a few.
Yeah, man. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Lead of Talk 'em in the Building podcast. He was there.
I love that.
Shout out to Christian as well, man. But
Greg too. Salute Greg.
Yeah, man. Shout out to them. Guys, once again, thank you again for joining us. Listeners, as always, it's an absolute pleasure. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know down below. Do you think Triple H is a fan of the blacks? That's probably going to be the title, just for some clickbait, piss off some people stuff. But thank you all again, man. Once again, it's pod season. We're podding as always in season. I'm Adrian. You already know it's no BS coming from me. And thank you again for joining us on Suplex Dinner Club. Peace. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir.